Good evening, everyone. My name is Chris Cooper, known as the Channel Guy Trader, and I'm reporting to you live from Wall Street Trading's Miami office down in sunny South Florida. Today's date is Wednesday, August the 14th, 2013, and here is today's After the Bell Market Summary video brought to you by WallStreetTrading.com. I want to first start by taking a look to see how the indices closed the session for the day. The Dow closed down 113 points. The Nasdaq closed down 15 points, and the S&P 500 closed down close to 9 points. If we take a look at the breadth on the market, we had 3,781 issues declining on the NYSE, Nasdaq, and the AMX. We had 2,352 issues advancing on the NYSE, Nasdaq, and the AMX. Therefore, breadth was in favor of the bears. You can find that information on finviz.com, people. All right, now the reason why today was an interesting day because the market sold off today, but then it grinded near the lows, and then now that Cisco came out with bad numbers, I'm assuming because the stock sold off. I have not looked at the report. The market is actually trading lower. You can see the SPY closed at 168.74, and now the SPY is currently trading at 168.38, but we did hit a low of 168.20. So that would be a reference level for sure tomorrow. So 168.20. All right, the low that we actually broke the lows of Monday. We are trading below the lows of last week, and we pretty much bounced off of the lows that we made on July the 30th, which was 168.19. Today after hours we hit a low of 168.20, so we hit this little pivot right here, or that little low right here after hours. So I'm assuming tomorrow if the market stays weak, we'll probably open up somewhere around 168 or maybe slightly below 168. Then we'll have to wait and see what happens. Key level to watch tomorrow if we gap down would be right here below these lows, 168.40 that is. So if we hold below 168.40, you want to be more, I would say, neutral to bearish, and then I would say if we start holding below 168, you want to start managing your positions if you're long the market, and maybe start looking to peel some positions off, or hedge yourself by getting long some volatility or buying some puts for your longs if you have some long positions. At the same time, 168 is going to be a decent level of support, so that's definitely an area to focus on tomorrow. We break below 168, look for some more selling pressure, and we should hit this 160, 167 area, guys. So keep an eye on that, all right? As far as the resistance goes, you want to be paying close attention to today's opening price, which also kind of lines up with the closing price from yesterday, which is around the 169.60 area. We break above that, then today's highs, and then this 170 area. You can see for the past 5 sessions or so, we really just been trading this little choppy range right here. And now tomorrow we have a chance of actually holding below that little choppy range and possibly pulling back in a bit, which would not be a bad thing. So some of these stocks could set up some decent buys at some support levels. And then obviously if we break down lower, we'll start looking for some lower support levels. All right, and then if you take a look at the ES, just to explain to you guys what I was mentioning earlier here, where the market traded near the lows and was chopping around. If you take a look at the 5-minute chart of the ES, we sold off on the open, then we traded sideways. Of course, this is indicative of another move lower. What happened? We had that little sell pressure come in. You see the volume spike that came in right there, but guess what? They sucked some shorts in, and then we just chopped around the whole day. Then we had some selling pressure coming to the close, nothing too crazy there. But then you can see after hours, the ES actually sold off all the way down to 1677, and we closed at 1681. So we sold off, what, 4 points or so there. And if we don't get back above the 1680 level, we could see some more selling pressure going into tomorrow. One of the levels that we told the traders to watch today, we said, hey guys, if we break and hold below 1688, look for some selling pressure. You can see that's exactly what happened. At the same time, if we break and hold above 1688, we should have been looking for that nice top side action, and that didn't happen today. So there was definitely some weakness in the markets. We'll have to see how it carries into tomorrow. If you take a look at the ES action on the daily chart, all right, you can see that that 1680 level has been an area where they've been sucking in some shorts and then squeezing them out every time we traded below 1680. Back here, what days is this here? Back here later in the in July, July 25th, July 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th. So near the end of the month back here in July, we were pretty much chopping around. Every time we broke below 1680, they would buy it up. Below 1680, they would buy it up. So now, if we hold below 1680, the fact that we know that's the key reference level, we could see that nice selling pressure back down towards 1665 on the ES right here. So be on your P's and Q's tomorrow, we could have some excitement and some volatility. All right, and we'll see those dip buyers come in. If those dip buyers come in, then it's the same story. If those dip buyers do not come in, then we're going to be saying to ourselves, okay, there's a little bit of changing characteristics here. All right, so let's take a look at the triple Qs. The Nasdaq 100 ETF down 29 cents. This has been a pretty strong index, the Nasdaq, as of late. You can take these little pivots right here, and you can see we have a key trend line. Take this little pivot high right here. You can see we're kind of like this little upward channel. Really wouldn't be too concerned on the triple Qs unless we break below this little pivot low, or we start holding and break below this little area right here, which happens to be around the 76 area. And if that happens, we will trade down to 75. As you guys know, 75 was a key reference level from this consolidation that took place back here before we had this nice little power move up. All right, as far as resistance goes, yesterday's highs 77.28 or so will be the resistance level. If we break over 77.28, we'll be making new 52-week highs on the Nasdaq. And of course, Apple has been a big helper to this, this nice movement we've been having in the Nasdaq to the top side, or at least the relative strength that we have been seeing in the Nasdaq a little bit here, because Carl Icahn came out on Twitter, said he was buying a nice position Apple. That caused the stock to move up. We're above those 200-day moving averages, which are these black trend lines right here. These black moving averages. And got to be a little bit careful today. You can see we have a little doji right here on the gap up. All right, so if we were to take out this low and hold below the low that we made today, we could see this probably come back in as they were talking on CNBC how Apple really shot up because the algorithms that are on Twitter, they picked that up via the news feed out of the algorithms, and they rallied the price up. They're trying to say pretty much that this was not investor buying, this was computer buying, and we'll see how that plays out. But right now, Apple had a decent day today, up $8.93, up 1.82%. Actually gave you some nice cash flow trades today. If you take a look at the 5-minute chart, it set up a nice little breakout buy or right here over this 500 level, and it rallied all the way to 504. That's some nice action right there if you were trading that stock intraday. Let's see. Let me take a look at Amazon real quick since we were just looking at the Qs. Amazon has been a stock that has not been able to catch a bid ever since it had that earnings report. Shot up. It's been fading that earnings day, and right now we're sitting on top of the 50-day simple and exponential moving average right here at 290, guys. Let's keep an eye on Amazon right on top of that moving average. Let's go ahead and take a look at the small caps, the Russell 2000. This is a good measure of risk in the market. Why? Because they're small companies. Small companies have a little bit of a tough time getting funding for their projects. So obviously the Russell 2000 is moving up. The small caps are doing good. That's bullish. If not, that's bearish. If you take this trend line, this is pretty interesting right here. If you take this trend line that the Russell 2000 has not been able to break above, right, and then you make that trend line parallel, duplicate it, make it parallel to this action right here, from this pivot low and this pivot low. Take a look at this. We have a nice little channel that could be in play now. All right, and if the market was to really sell off and start coming in, and this Russell 2000 wants to break below this 103 level, then we could see some decent sell side action down towards this 50-day moving average around 196, and then maybe get that nice little back test that probably people are looking for right here from this prior resistance, which now support. So 99.54, if the market was to sell down there, all right, obviously we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves, but I'm just saying if the market was to sell down there, that would actually be a decent level to try to get long the Russell 2000. As of right now, the key level to watch will be this 103. We break below 103. We have a gap fill that's right here around 101 and 102. So keep that level on watch. Also have this little lower trend line you could draw in right there from that little pivot high that we made today. All right, folks. Let's go ahead and take a look at that volatility index. The volatility index had a nice little advance move higher today. It was up close to 6%, up 73 cents on the VIX. Really wouldn't be too concerned about volatility picking up until we really break over 1350 or so on the on the volatility index here. As you can see, we've pretty much been trading in a range back here from July 22nd to where we're currently at right now, August the 14th today. It's been a long day, guys. We actually just got finished completing our 4-day professional trading course at our Miami office down here in Coral Gables. It went pretty well. We got positive feedback. So again, if you're interested in taking that course, you could contact me. Whether you're in the Miami area, we will be holding another in-house course at our Miami office next month. I have the date. I will tell you guys the date in tomorrow's video. At the same time, we're going to be doing a webinar format pretty soon in the coming month. So when that date gets released, I'll make sure I post that all over the social media networks, and I'll let you guys know in this video. Aside from that, let's go and take a look at some of these currencies. Starting off with the dollar index. The dollar index has been showing some weakness. You can see they bought it up right at 81, and now we're trying to move above this breakdown level that we have right here at 81.62 or so. 80, call it 81.63. If we hold above 81.63, look for them to try to run this back up. I would say back up here towards 82.50. So off of this little dollar strength that's coming in, we'll be watching to see how the commodities react to that, and how some of these companies that rely on a weak dollar, how they react, like the industrial companies and some of those appliance companies, and you guys get all these companies that do a lot of business overseas. All right, what else? Let's take a look at that euro action, the euro USD. But right now the dollar's not really strong. It's still pretty weak off that selling pressure it had, so I wouldn't be too concerned about the dollar getting too strong unless we break above some more key levels. The euro broke above that 132 level. The back test held. We talked about, if you we told you guys, if you trade the euro, look for the euro to make a move up towards that 134 out of this range. That's exactly what happened. We double topped up there at that level, and now we're pulling back. Keep an eye on the euro if it comes back to check this 132 level again. Again, we don't trade the euro. Well, sometimes we do. I traded the euro futures before, but we really don't trade the euro. We just watch it to see how it relates to the dollar and to some of these other asset classes and the markets. Let's take a look at the commodities space now. I'm doing a full market breakdown because I was not able to do a weekend review video, and I have not been able to do a weekend review video for, like, I guess the past 3 weeks or so, the past month. So I'm going through the different commodities and sectors. Gold had a bullish day today. I mean, ever since the gold put this little pivot in right here, broke this little downtrend line, gold's been looking pretty good. Remember, this 1348 area, call it 1350, is a key level because that's where we had the breakdown from the inverted cup and handle pattern here that we actually called out. You can go back to our videos back here in late June, and you can see we talked about gold potentially breaking down. That's what happened. And we had this little consolidation right here. Gold popped up to that resistance level, got rejected, and now we're back underneath that resistance level. Gold miners, they've been performing pretty well. Definitely a sector you want to take a look at. Gold miners, they've been doing pretty well. The coal stocks have been doing pretty well. We actually had one of the traders in our My Wall Street TV online trading room call out WLT today, intraday, and that paid off pretty good today. So again, you want to make sure that you come check out our chat room. A lot of good information and a great group of traders in there that are calling out trades, and they're doing pretty well. GDX, nice pattern here. Possible cup and handle pattern, you could say. Maybe the handle's a little bit too deep, but either way, you have this strength coming in because you have this little pivot right here, this little bottoming pivot right here. You have another higher pivot low, and you have close above this resistance level or above this key 28 area, which was a support level that broke down and it was rejected right there, and now we closed above it. Volume starting to come in down here at the bottom of the chart, so keep an eye on GDX. It's trying to break above the 100-day moving average, which has not been above that 100-day moving average since back here in December. So definitely you want to keep an eye on these gold miners. Maybe keep an eye on some of those cheap ones. Let's take a look at the GDXJ, which is gold mining juniors, and this is looking pretty good as well. We'll definitely be looking at some of these cheap gold mining stocks, or these small cap gold mining stocks, to see how they're set up and see if they have any more upside potential. Because again, we don't want to buy them on highs, but we want to maybe start initiating some positions if you haven't done so already, or if you haven't been watching them. You want to make sure that you're watching them and have some of them on your radar. Crude oil. Let's go and take a look at the crude oil futures. Crude oil futures are trading 106.96. They're pretty much establishing a high range up here between 102 and 108, so a $6 range. There's been a lot of action going on overseas over there in Egypt, and that could be the cause of crude oil holding this nice bid right here. If crude oil breaks over 108, let's go back to those weekly charts that I've been showing you guys. 1 second. My chart has frozen. Give me 1 second, please. Sorry about that. Where is it at? Where is it at? Oh, they really messed up my charts there, huh? Alright, sorry about that, guys. Let me get this set up here again. Charts got messed up. Give me 1 second, please. Alright, guys, sorry about that. Little technical difficulties here. All right, so crude oil again, that 102 area or 102 half, 103 and 108. Watch this range. If you watch crude oil via the USO, which is the ETF, you can see this chart's looking pretty bullish, and most likely, of course, the target's back up here towards these highs. All right, so let's go and talk about some stocks, right? We all want to hear some stocks. I went over Apple, went over Amazon, Oracle. Looks like it had a decent day today. All right, was up close to 1%. It's a nice little trending stock right here. This may be down because of the Cisco a little bit tomorrow. But overall, the market, we saw a lot of selling pressure in the services sector and some of the retail stocks, Home Depot, Lowe's. We could bring up some of those names because those have been high flyers. Maybe we have some institutions and some portfolio managers getting out of those positions. They have earnings coming out next week, and they may be a little bit too overpriced for the hype that's been in these names because of the home builders that have been making a nice run. This sector may look to pull in a bit. You can see Home Depot actually closed below this nice little 2.5 week range it had right here. So as long as it holds below the 78 25 or 25 area or so, we should be looking for a test of this 100-day moving average. If we break below that, then we actually have some lower levels to watch, such as this level right here around 75 from this little pivot low right here, and then from right here around 73, this little pivot low right here. This is definitely going to be a stock that's going to be in play for the next couple of days. Keep it on your radar. If Home Depot is going to be in play, of course, then you're going to be looking at Lowe's, right? Lowe's looks much stronger than Home Depot for the fact that it has not. It's been making a nice uptrend while Home Depot has been trading sideways. So Lowe's looks decent, but if Home Depot comes in, Lowe's is most likely going to come in. And looks like they both report earnings on the same day. Again, we're seeing some action in the basic material sector. I've been talking about the basic material sector for the past 2 weeks or so to keep an eye on those names ever since we had, actually for the past 3 weeks, ever since we've been seeing that weakness in that dollar and using the weak dollar for the kind of like, I wouldn't say inflation trade, but for the fact that, when the dollar gets weak, a lot of people go into the basic material stocks, the hard asset stocks. So either way, CLF looks decent. Nice uptrend there. If you're taking a look at CLF, you want to make sure you look at US Steel X, which gave us a nice little cash flow trade last week on this day right here on Friday, and actually on Thursday too. We actually traded on Thursday. We didn't catch a move on Friday. And we actually have those charts posted on our Facebook company page, Wall Street Trading. You can see how we traded it. WLT, nice movement today. Good job by my friend that's a trader, good trader. His name's Brian. He called this out during the intraday action, and it gave us a nice breakout. This is a nice little up move, 2-day pullback. Look for continuation of this name tomorrow over today's highs. Take a look at the 5-minute chart intraday. Look at that great breakout. He actually called it right here around 1310, and this made a move all the way to 1360. Let's see what else. So if you're taking a look at WLT, make sure you take a look at CNX. CNX actually has a stronger looking chart than the other coal stocks, but you can see the momentum's really not there. But tell you guys one thing, if it does hold above this little level right here, this little trend line, it starts to hold prior resistance, now support, starts to hold that support above 31. Look for this thing to see if you can spot a held bid and then see if it starts to trade up. But of course, the other names that look strong in the coal sector, you have WLT, you have A&R, which is breaking this nice little downward channel. I would definitely be looking at A&R. It's breaking this downward channel, this downward bullish channel that's been in since the beginning of the year. So nice little eight-month downtrend that's being broken. As long as we go hold up, I would say about 550. Look for the stock to move higher and possibly have a next target up here towards 680 or so, which was a prior support level that broke. So that could be an area for a retest. And we break above that, then you want to watch a consolidation. That level, top of that consolidation is around 750. I like A&R. And you have JRCC, another little cheap coal stock you could take a look at, which is setting up for a breakout over 225. What's the other one? Am I missing one? BTU, which was the strongest one out there today, which was up close to 4%. This one's had a nice up move, and it's trying to flag up here with a nice bid around 17.15 or so. Keep an eye on this name. Looks pretty good. Have some bottom feeders coming into some of these coal stocks now. Aside from that, folks, there's plenty of stuff to talk about. We'll have more ideas tomorrow morning. If you have not checked out our Power Hitter Seat subscription service for alerts that comes with levels and the market, please do so. It looks like this, and I send this out every morning, and it has the levels. Usually has a market commentary. You can see a sample sheet on our website, wallstreettrading.com. Have a great night, folks. Catch you guys in the morning. Cheers.